Hi, I'm Nathan with the Grace Company, and we're going to just briefly take a look at the TrueCut original rotary blade cutter. We're going to look at a couple of the key features, the tracking system that we have on our ruler that interacts and locks with our guide on the cutter. We're going to look at a couple of the buttons. We often have people say, well, why the buttons? We're going to show you really the basic and how simple this cutter is really to use. As we look at this cutter, we can see that it does work immediately out of the package with both the right and left hand users. It works in conjunction with the TrueCut tracking system, and this can be done by pressing either the left or the right button. And I want to show you the back of the head so you can see what these buttons are doing. When we press them, what that's doing is that allows that head to be moved out of the way so that it's accessible for cutting. If we don't press that, it locks it in place. So when we designed this cutter, we were doing a lot of research, and some people were talking about safety in the cutters. A lot of people are leaving them open. And what this does is this allows us to depress, to cut, and immediately when we're done cutting, by letting go of that, lock the head back in place so that we can no longer cut any of the surfaces that we're working with. So again, we can simply press the left or the right, or both of them, while holding that. I'm going to go ahead and take the guide, lip it over the edge of our ruler, which will hold that in place, and we're going to simply cut. That's one of the fantastic things about this process, is that it doesn't take really much effort at all to keep your line straight because of our corresponding guide and the ruler's edge. But again, buttons allow the head to move out of the way. Now, we have had a lot of people also comment and say, well, I don't want to have to hold the buttons because I might use a finger here, or I might use my thumb, or my thumb might be on the side of my cutter. Well, we also have a secondary button on the bottom, and this is our safety button. This allows us to do two things. One, if we lock it, we can no longer push our buttons in. So if I'm going to be storing this in a drawer, or I'm putting this in a travel bag because I'm going to be going somewhere, by simply locking that, I cannot use the cutter. The locking button also allows us to lock it open for continuous use. So what this will do is now I don't have to hold any buttons while I'm cutting. So we can simply cut until we're done. When we're done, we will need to go ahead and release that button, okay, which allows that guide to be locked back into position. So again, we have buttons up here that allow us to cut when either one or both are pressed. We can use it, and when released, activate the guard, or we can lock it in the open position for continual use. We also have one additional piece here, which is our slider. This adds additional pressure to our ruler guide's edge. So as you can see here, it's very soft and it's very easy to press. By simply pushing this down towards the end, it's now a lot more firm. The reason we've done that, we have a lot of people when they cut as well who state they like a little additional pressure on the edge of the ruler. So by pressing this down, and again it will just stay in the position you leave the slider, we now, let me unlock this, we now have additional, you can see that springing right there, we now have some additional pressure on the edge of this ruler, which helps keep that ruler lined up on the fabric surface. So again, when we're done using this, we simply can unlock it. So again, left and right buttons for left and right-handed users. When depressed, we're available to cut. A lot of people do not like to hold those continuously for cutting, so we can lock it open for continual use. Or if I'm going to put it in the drawer or take it and put it in some kind of a bag for travel, we can lock it so that it does not become usable as far as locking the blade. And then this adds additional tension to our special unique track and ruler guide that's built into the TrueCut rotary blade cutters. For any additional questions, feel free to contact the Grace Company at 1-800-264-0644. Go to a local dealer to pick up one of your TrueCut product items.